Welcome to News Central TV. I am Adebola Adedugba. The top stories at this hour. President Tinubu swears in Kekere-Ekun as new Chief Justice of Nigeria. PDP prepares documents to challenge Edo governorship election results in court. MSF reports record 25,000 sexual violence cases in DR Congo. And details shortly. And let's begin with judicial matters, where Justice Kudirat Olatokunbo Kekere-Ekun took the oath of office as the 23rd Chief Justice of Nigeria, CJN, on Monday, with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu reaffirming his government's commitment to upholding the judiciary's independence and sanctity. Justice Kekere-Ekun, the second female CJN in Nigeria's history, was sworn in following her confirmation by the Senate. According to a statement by the Special Advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Bayo Ononuga, Tinubu underscored the pivotal role of the judiciary in safeguarding Nigeria's constitutional democracy. The President reiterated his government's dedication to improving judicial officers' welfare and working conditions. He urged Justice Kekere-Ekun to continue upholding the principles of ethical leadership, fearlessness, and honesty that have defined her career.
The new Chief Justice of Nigeria to continue to uphold our reputation of being an ethical, fearless, and honest jurist. The Nigerian judiciary need a leader with these qualities at this time, and I have no doubt that he will set the pace for others to follow. It is my administration's full commitment to preserve the sanctity of the judiciary. While we may have reasons to intervene as complementing component of the same government, the government under my watch will also be mindful of the clear line demarcating the two of us. We will never interfere or abuse the relationship that exists between us as separate organs of government.
The People's Democratic Party, PDP, has announced its decision to challenge the outcome of the recent Edo State governorship election in court, citing irregularities and a compromised electoral process. The party's National Publicity Secretary, Debo Ologunagba, affirmed that the PDP is committed to upholding the rule of law and is currently reviewing the election documents before taking legal action. He assured that the PDP's position would soon be made public and reflected in the party's legal actions. Ologunagba expressed concern about the state of Nigeria's democratic institutions, particularly the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, which he accused of failing to maintain independence. He emphasized that for democracy to thrive, Nigeria needs strong, independent institutions, drawing a comparison to the United States' robust democratic systems. The national chairman of the All Progressives Grand Alliance has dismissed the recent suspension of several members of the party by the factional chairman, Edozie Njoko. The national chairman, while speaking to newsmen in Abuja, says that the factional chairman is not a member of the party and holds no authority in the party as adjudicated by several court judgments. He urged party faithful to disregard the act, saying it remains null and void.
It is with deep regret that we witnessed the farcical and delusional antics of Chief Edozie Njoko yesterday, as he brazenly and mischievously claimed to have suspended esteemed members of the All Progressives Grand Alliance, APGA, including my humble self, Barrister Ifeatu Obi-Okoye, the state chairman of APGA in Anambra State, and Dr. Alex Obi-Obolu. This purported suspension, issued from a place of sheer imagination rather than any legitimate authority, is not only laughable, but also serves as a clear indication of the length to which Njoku will go to distract from his own inadequacies. Edozie Njoku does not possess the locus to suspend loyal and dedicated members of our party. His actions reflect a desperate attempt to exert control over a party of which he is not even a member. By what right does a stranger seek to suspend the very architects of APGA's success? It is like an intruder attempting to evict homeowners from their own property. Such audacity is not only unfounded, but also offensive to the integrity of our great party. Njoku's recent declarations claiming authority to suspend loyal members of APGA are not only baseless, but also a blatant misrepresentation of reality.
News Central TV has successfully held several editions of the town hall series in various Nigerian cities over the past months. Now, this event sparked robust discussions on topics such as the Dosumu fire outbreak and landmark demolition in Lagos, the communal conflicts in Jos, the Okwama tragedy in Delta State, and the aftermath of the End Bad Governance protests in Abuja. However, the edition in New York made a strategic shift, focusing specifically on electoral rights and the potential power of diasporans in shaping governance through voting, with keynote addresses from distinguished personalities such as Honorable Abike Dabiri-Erewa, Chair, CEO of Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, NIDCOM, Dr. Obiageli Obi Ezekwesili, former Minister of Education and renowned technocrat, as well as several influential figures.
One of the things that we've heard as a challenge, key core challenge around this conversation is the legal implications that has to do with our constitution. And we have a lot of amazing legal experts in diasporas who should be involved in this campaign. And one thing that I would also want to emphasize is that it's about legacy. A lot of us might be comfortable here being in diaspora, but we also have to think about the future of our generations to come back home, and that's why we need to be much involved.
Diaspora communities often engage in civic participation both in their host countries and their countries of origin. This dual participation can manifest in voting, advocacy, or mobilizing resources to influence policies and support community development efforts back home.
We're going to break now. When we return, troops eliminate top terrorist leaders, disrupt operations. We'll tell you more after the break. Join us again. Thank you for staying with us. Organizers have insisted they would proceed with a showdown despite kicks by the federal government and warning by the Nigerian police force. A former presidential candidate and activist who is one of the leaders of the planned October 1st protest, Omoyele Sowore, gave an update on the social media platform X on Monday, insisting on the action and saying it would be held across the country. According to Sowore, the nationwide protest will be held at Eagle Square, Abuja, and will be peaceful. The activist further said hunger pangs have spread across the country, adding that Nigerians need to troop out nationwide to protest. In Lagos, the protest organizers plan to commence their march at the Ikeja Under Bridge at 7:30 a.m. In the meantime, a former presidential candidate of the PDP, Atiku Abubakar, has called on political leaders and stakeholders to take decisive steps to protect Nigeria's democracy. In his Independence Day message on Monday, Atiku stressed the need for a unified effort to reclaim Nigeria's democratic ideals from looming threats of oppression. He noted that the 64th independence anniversary is not only a time for celebration, but also opportunity to honor the resilience of Nigerians who believe in the nation's potential. Atiku expressed concern over the declining credibility of the electoral process, blaming the ruling class for undermining its integrity. He also called for a strong, united opposition to safeguard a brighter future for the country. And to talk about this, we're joined by the Executive Director of Not So Young to Lead Initiative, and that's Elvis Akpobi. Good evening. Glad to have you join me on the news.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Talking about Nigeria at 64, that's tomorrow, October 1st. How have issues of governance and corruption, of course, evolved in Nigeria over the past years?
Okay, it's for me, it's a very difficult time to be a Nigerian, and owing to the fact that it seems as if as we keep celebrating every independence, it seems as if our electoral system, the trust between citizens and the electoral umpire is declining, the high rate of insecurity, hunger, the value of the naira reduces daily. It goes to show that things are not working the way they ought to work. And in as much as we have a president at the center at the moment, his campaign promises was a renewed hope, but at the moment, it seems as if all hopes are lost. But I will not, like people always say, they appeal for more time and all that, but it's time the president and every stakeholder come together, make policies that will make Nigeria habitable. Because at the moment, there are a lot of things going on in Nigeria today that are not inspiring. The last of young people are escaping Nigeria, not because they know it seems like the land is green on the other side, but they just want to leave because it seems as if there's no hope back here in the country.
Now, talking about Nigerians now, what do you think are the prevailing sentiments as we look forward to tomorrow marking Nigeria at 64? Do you feel or sense that sense of national identity as we celebrate this anniversary?
No, we don't have it. That's one of our division at the moment. We don't have a national identity as Nigerians. We are divided by ethnicity, we are divided by party lines, we are divided by social strata. At the moment, I can categorically say there's no middle class in Nigeria. And any society that doesn't have a middle class, the economy will always decline, and there will always be high rate of unemployment, insecurity, and that's how we got here. So for me, a lot of people, ordinarily, when people want to celebrate the independence of their country, you see this happiness, you see this enthusiasm. I can categorically tell you that there's nothing to be happy about as we celebrate the 64th independence of our country. But we don't have any other country apart from Nigeria. For me, I don't have any other country apart from Nigeria. We will not give up in reshaping the future of our country. Everybody, both stakeholders, leaders, even citizens, will have to come together and make this country work.
Now, let's talk about the youths of Nigeria. How do you think the Nigerian youths have engaged so far with national issues, and what role do they play or can they play in shaping the country's future as we mark this anniversary?
Yes, Nigeria today is overwhelmed with 70% young people as population, but when we consistently see careless display of incompetence by those who contracted governance with our votes, it becomes easy to be helpless and hopeless. But I will still urge every Nigerian youth that amidst this bleakness, amidst this hardship, there are still people who are changing the narrative. It's time we come together and have a unifying factor to put this country where it ought to be. And the future of our country lies in our actions and inactions. Our blunders today will become the bonding of the next generation. So I want to urge every Nigerian youth to celebrate 54 years independence tomorrow that let's not give up on this country. Let's not be complacent. Let's come together, strategize, and resist the bleakness we're faced with as a country. Let's let those who are making wrong policies for us know that there's a generation of young people they need to negotiate with.
Okay, in closure, forward-looking now, what do you think the opportunities are, for Nigeria as we mark Nigeria at 64?
We're blessed with crude oil. We're blessed with agriculture. We have lands for agriculture. I think it's time government at all levels focus on agriculture, tech, that this mono economy we're running, that our economy is being regulated by the rise and fall of the crude oil, which for me is not too good. And let's not forget too that there are other alternative sources of energy coming up. I wonder if the value of the crude oil we have today will still be the value to have in the next 10 years. Let's plan towards the future, and above all, let's come together and make this country better. Because Nigeria is blessed. We're just plagued with bad policies and leadership. It's time to get it right. Let's place Nigeria first before our personal interests.
All right, thank you so much. And must I say, happy independence in advance. Elvis Akpobi, not too young to lead initiative. Many thanks indeed. And now to security matters, where Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tarid Lagbaja, has announced a significant escalation in Nigeria's fight against terrorism, with troops eliminating several high-ranking terrorist leaders and commanders. He said these operations have severely disrupted terrorist activities, offering much-needed relief to affected communities. Alongside neutralizing key figures, the military has successfully conducted operations across multiple regions, resulting in the arrest of numerous terrorists, the seizure of weapons and ammunition, and destruction of terrorist hideouts. Lagbaja also highlighted that the military has adapted its strategies to address emerging challenges, including using seasonal flooding in the Lake Chad region to its advantage and prioritizing the elimination of terrorist leaders. As the aftermath of the Borno flood continued to unfold, now various groups and organizations have mobilized funds to support victims of the recent disaster. Media Trust Group have donated 10 million naira, as well as the Miyetti Allah Kautal, also providing 15,500,000 naira to Borno State government towards hastening the recovery of the victims. News Center's Umaru Kirawa tells us more.
We are here to express our sympathy with what has happened to Borno State, the people and the government. I don't think there is anybody in the world, not just in Nigeria, who wouldn't be touched by what you saw happened. And from all the accounts, anything close to it only happened 30 years ago and not on this scale. Because even today, in the Weekend Trust, I saw an interview with the then Chief Executive of the Chad Basin Development Authority, Engineer Zanna, also, who was saying that the one of 30 years ago is not as bad as this one. And one of his concluding remarks, which I would like to, I believe the Borno State government and the governor is aware, he's concerned about the water supply of Borno State after this, because he is basically saying that the quantity of water in Alau Dam may not be enough for the people.
We acknowledge the receiver of support from Daily Trust and your foundation, and rest assured that we shall make judicious utilization of what you have given to us.
In the meantime, the Northeast Development Commission has engaged the Nigerian Society of Engineers Maiduguri branch to discuss the urgent reconstruction of collapsed bridges across 6 states of northeast Nigeria. Following severe flooding that has wreaked havoc in the region, the engineering body and INEC gathered to deliberate on sustainable engineering solutions to restore vital infrastructure and enhance connectivity. News Center's Umaru Kirawa tells us more.
Another worry for the people in the 6 states of Nigeria's northeast: the collapse of bridges and dilapidation of road networks due to devastating floods.
Disaster has cut our road, that is from Maiduguri to Gamborungala, is a trunk A road that is leading about 4 to 5 neighboring countries, that is Cameroon, Chad, Niger, Central Africa, up to Sudan. I think the federal government have to liaise with those affected countries. Maybe they will going to have a dialogue with them. Maybe how they will going to contribute and construct this road.
This engagement focuses on immediate reconstruction plans and long-term infrastructural improvements.
What we
wanted is we need a very quick assessment of the distraction, especially of the bridges across the Northeast. We believe the bridges are very important when we talk about roads and other things.
The discussions highlighting the importance of engineering expertise in rebuilding efforts to foster regional development and resilience against future disasters.
We have discussed in a lengthy way in order to see that we are going to mobilize our engineers to the sites to see actually what are the root causes and what are the measures to be taken to prevent the structures from failures.
As of today, I think nobody will give you the exact number of bridges, but I know each state has their own problems because probably, who knows, as we're talking now, a bridge is going to collapse, so it has collapsed already. So whatever bridges are collapsing in the North East, we are going to look at it and see what needs to be done as quickly as possible.
From Yola through Madagali to Maiduguri and Damaturu to Bauchi, Gombe and Taraba, farmers, businessmen and motorists struggle with the nightmare of the road networks. Addressing the devastating impact of recent floods on transportation in northeast Nigeria on time will help put smiles on the faces of millions and rejuvenate economic growth. In Maiduguri for News Central, Umaru Kirawa.
Some workers in the Abia State government have appealed to the governor to come to their aid over non-reception of salaries since June 2024. Now, the workers alleged that they were denied of salaries due to irregularity and unpunctuality to work, saying it was false. They also say that they had brought the situation to the notice of their various unit heads, but were yet to get their issue resolved as they continue to go without salaries for months.
Some of us, they say that it's non-regular. Some of us are not regular in work. Meanwhile, we have a place you clock in every day and clock us as you come to work. So we don't know how they justify our not coming to work. This one now, we are entering into the 5th month. This is the 4th month.
I used to borrow money from my neighbors. Borrow me sometimes 1,000 from Osa to Bank Pro is 800 going and come back. I want government to help us, talk to them, for them to pay us our money. For them to pay us, let them have conscience, because it is not easy. Every day, 800, sometimes 857. But I know that my government, OT, is not aware of this. The people that is aware is BAMSEC Chief of Staff.
I've confronted my unit so many times, and he told me that he's not the one that put my name as not regular, that it was false, because the time that he showed me the list of the people that they write non-regular and non-regular, there are about 3 or 4 people of my colleagues that are still security that they wrote non-regular, but they are still paying those people. Then mean that they wrote regular. I'm not being paid, so I think something is definitely wrong. Something is definitely wrong with the system. So I'm pleading with the governor to please help us, because I can't be coming to work on an empty stomach and pushing the gates without no money, nothing. It's on call for going to 5 months now. It's on call.
The importance of location-based marketing cannot be underestimated due to its many benefits, according to experts. Hence, the need for marketers and industry leaders to invest in it as a marketing strategy. And this was the position of marketing professionals and industry experts present at the Location Marketing Awards recently held in Lagos. Our correspondent, Omolola Ololade, tells us more.
Marketing professionals in today's business world face a myriad of challenges as they strive to capture the attention and loyalty of consumers. With a highly competitive landscape, marketers strive in ensuring brands navigate through a maze of competitors, changing consumer preferences, and evolving digital platforms. It is on this premise that the Location Marketing Awards decided to provide an avenue for professionals within the location-based marketing and out-of-home advertising industry to share insights, explore innovations, and celebrate achievements.
The concept of location marketing is based off on the fact that the technological influence has revolutionized the way out-of-home advertising is being practiced. The industry has 3 stages, of which we are the 3rd stage right now. They started off first from what is called outdoor advertising to out-of-home advertising to location marketing. So that is where the name location marketing came from. And the award is to recognize people who are already pushing to that futuristic play we are playing in the industry.
Thank you so much.
And the winner is Brand Eye Media as Jameson Barrowman. A round of applause.
This year's event, which brought together industry leaders, innovators, and visionaries, created the opportunity to celebrate excellence, creativity, and the impactful use of location-based marketing strategies and technologies.
I believe the marketing sector is a very key sector in the Nigerian economy. Definitely the contributions to the economy cannot be underrated, definitely. I believe there's a lot of potentials, and with the right stakeholders and innovations, definitely we can definitely soar higher than the ceiling.
For Nigeria, there are a lot of players now. Comparing where we are in terms of number of players in the industry and how it used to be, it's a lot. It's almost like an exponential growth. So I can only see from now on, we adopting several innovative ways to express ourselves, like I said earlier. So from now henceforth, I believe we would see more impressive executions from brands and clients.
Industry experts, however, believe awards such as this remain catalysts for change, while playing a crucial role in elevating the standards of the marketing industry in Nigeria, showcasing the incredible talent and ingenuity that exists within the industry. In Lagos for News Central, Omolola Ololade.
Coming up, MSF reports record 25,000 sexual violence cases in DR Congo. We have details shortly. Join us again. Thank you for staying with us. The news continues in Central Africa, where Médecins Sans Frontières has reported a record-breaking surge in sexual violence cases in DR Congo, with over 25,000 victims treated in 2023. In a statement released on Monday, the humanitarian organization said average of more than 2 victims were treated every hour, an unprecedented figure. Most of the cases were recorded in displacement camps in the eastern provinces, particularly near North Kivu's capital, Goma. The region has been mired in conflict for decades, with ongoing clashes between Rwanda-backed M23 rebels and the Congolese army since late 2021. The persistent violence has displaced hundreds of thousands, further worsening humanitarian crisis. Gabon and Equatorial Guinea faced off on Monday at the International Court of Justice, hoping to resolve a dispute over the sovereignty of 3 islands in potentially oil-rich waters. The squabble is over the 30-acre island of Mbani and 2 smaller low-lying islets, Kokotia and Konga. It dates back to 1900 when colonial powers France and Spain signed a treaty in Paris setting out the borders between the 2 countries. Gabon argues that a later treaty signed in 1974, the Bata Convention, gives it sovereignty over the island. But Domingo Essono, Vice Minister of Mines and Hydrocarbons of Equatorial Guinea, disputed the validity of the document. He told the court Gabonese officials suddenly produced this treaty at a meeting in 2003, taking Equatorial Guinea by surprise. The delegation from Equatorial Guinea insists Gabon presents an original version. Gabon will respond on Wednesday.
Estamos convencidos de que la sentencia de la Corte ayudará a nuestros países a resolver sus disputas pendientes sobre soberanía y fronteras, sentando una base sostenible para que sus relaciones florezcan. En agosto de 1972, Gabón, haciendo uso de la fuerza, invadió este territorio bajo soberanía ecuatoguineana, ocupándolo ilegalmente desde entonces. El documento presentado por Gabón en mayo de 2003 tomó a los miembros de la delegación de Guinea Ecuatorial completamente por sorpresa. Ni uno de ellos había visto ni oído hablar de ese supuesto convenio. Además, el documento presentado no era un original, sino tan solo.
In East Africa, the United Arab Emirates reacted with outrage on Monday after the home of its ambassador in war-torn Sudan was attacked and badly damaged. The oil-rich Gulf state, which has repeatedly denied accusations of involvement in the war, blamed the Sudanese armed forces for the attack. Sudan's army denied carrying out the attack, insisting it does not target diplomatic missions. The army accuses the UAE of backing the paramilitary Rapid Support Forces, RSF, which it has been fighting since April 2023, in a war that has killed tens of thousands of people and ignited a dire humanitarian crisis. And up north, at least 12 Tunisians, including 3 children, were found dead after a migrant boat capsized off the coast of the southeastern island of Djerba on Monday. But an in-court spokesman, Ferthi Bachar, said the boat went down at dawn and 29 people were rescued, with the cause of the sinking still unknown. The Tunisian National Guard said it was alerted by 4 migrants who swam back ashore, adding that the boat reportedly had about 60 passengers on board. It remains unclear how many were still missing. The migrant had set sail from the peninsula of Ras Remel Hachana in northern Java and were heading to the Italian island of Lampedusa. In a significant step toward national reconciliation, Libya has appointed a new central bank governor aiming to resolve the deep-rooted dispute between the country's rival administration conflict that had severely impacted oil production. The decision follows a UN-backed agreement designed to ease tensions in the oil-rich nation. Hostilities had escalated around the central bank since August, forcing the former governor, Sadiq Al-Kabir, to flee the country. Now, after negotiations facilitated by the United Nations, both administrations reached an accord on Thursday, naming Naji Issa as the new central bank governor, with Midil Al-Barasi appointed as vice governor. In a statement on Monday, the Eastern-based parliament confirmed that 108 members voted unanimously in favor of the appointment. Now, a new board of directors is expected to be announced within 10 days. In a poignant reflection of solidarity of brotherhood, South Africa has, in a touching tribute through its leaders and citizens, paid tribute, acknowledgement, and indispensable support they received from various African nations during the liberation struggle. Those who were on the front line, like Nigeria, Zambia, Zimbabwe, Angola, and Tanzania, among others, they played a vital role in supporting the liberation movement during some of the darkest days of South Africa's history.
It's really sad, especially if we have not traveled beyond the borders of South Africa to understand a bit of the other brothers and sisters, African brothers and sisters in their own countries. If we were to really speak blankly, those countries, some of the people, ordinary people, I'm talking about the citizens, bent over backwards to make us feel at home. I will not speak around, maybe around Botswana here and Lesotho and Swaziland, who were a little bit on the jittery side. We know of sad stories where if they don't know, if nobody knows that you've crossed over into Botswana, you'll be handed back over. There are those that were handed back over into South Africa and handed over to the apartheid regime soldiers. But the far away countries, they sort of like opened their villages. Like in Tanzania, for instance, Nyerere would say from that mountain to that river is an area you can operate in. Any animals there, you can feed yourselves with it, but only you must allow the Tanzanian soldier to shoot it for you. So they really allowed us. In Nigeria, it's the same thing. I'm a pilot, one of the first black pilots in South Africa. Totally 100% sponsored by the Nigerian government, trained by the Nigerian government, and even the stipend were given by the Nigerian government. That time I was still in APLA. before I crossed over to MK, because I only crossed over to MK on our way back. So the villagers
Iran Foreign Ministry says it will not deploy forces to Lebanon or Gaza to confront Israel as Israeli strikes target its allies in the region. Now, according to the Foreign Ministry spokesman, Nasser Kanani, Lebanon and Palestine have the capability and strength to defend themselves against what he termed aggression. Israel has in recent days been mounting heavy airstrikes in Lebanon against the so-called axis of resistance, a network of Iran-aligned militant groups in the region, including in Syria, Yemen, and Iraq.
و کشورها و ملت‌های منطقه از جمله در لبنان و در فلسطین از توانایی و اقتدار لازم برای دفاع از خود در مقابل تجاوزگری رژیم غاصب صهیونیستی برخوردار هستند و نیازی به اعزام نیروهای کمکی یا داوطلب جمهوری اسلامی ایران نیست. درخواستی هم در این زمینه ما از هیچ طرفی نداشتیم، بلکه بالعکس ما اطلاع داریم و اطمینان داریم که آنها نیاز به کمک‌های انسانی ما از این دست ندارد. هیچ یک از اقدامات تجاوزکارانه رژیم غاصب صهیونیستی در ارتباط با اهداف مرتبط با جمهوری اسلامی ایران رو بدون پاسخ نخواهد گذاشت و رژیم غاصب صهیونیستی برای جنایاتی که در حق ملت ایران، در حق محور مقاومت و در حق اتباع و شهروندان و نظامیان ایرانی مرتکب شده بدون توبیخ و بدون در واقع تنبیه حتما عرض به خدمت شما که نخواهد.
In the meantime, thousands of people protested in cities across Pakistan after Iran-backed group Hezbollah confirmed that its longtime chief had been killed by an Israeli airstrike in Lebanon. Around 4,000 people gathered in the Pakistan capital Islamabad and 3,000 in the southern port city of Karachi during rallies and funeral prayers for Hassan Nasrallah, led by Shiite Muslim groups. Hezbollah said on Saturday Hassan Nasrallah was killed in the strike on Beirut's southern suburbs a day earlier, dealing a massive blow to the group he had led for decades.
और हम ये बताना चाहते हैं कि एक नसरुल्लाह के जाने से कुछ नहीं होगा। हम सब नसरुल्लाह हैं, हम सब नसरुल्लाह की आवाज़ हैं और हम सब हसन नसरुल्लाह का पैगाम हैं। जो परचम उसने हमें दिया है हमने उठाया। यही वजह है कि आज शिया सुन्नी सब मिलकर रोडों पर आए हैं और हम पुरअमन हैं। हमारे साथ ख़वातीन हैं, बच्चे हैं, बुजुर्ग हैं, उलमा हैं। बस इस बिना पर लाजिम ज़रूरी है कि हम इस आवाज़ एहतजाज को बुलंद करें और उन अफराद तक पहुँचाएँ कि जो इस जुल्म के बानी हैं, यानी अमरीका जो उम्मुल ख़बाइस है, जो तमाम बुराइयों, फसाद और मुनकरात का महवर और मरकज़ और जड़ है।
The Petroleum and Natural Gas Senior Staff Association of Nigeria, PENGASIN, attributes the ongoing rise in petrol prices to the floating of the naira rather than the removal of subsidies. PENGASIN President Festus Osifo pointed out that the naira's valuation has profoundly impacted various sectors, particularly fuel pricing. He suggested that if the naira were pegged at 450 naira per dollar, petrol prices would be significantly reduced. Osifo noted that the increased revenues reported by agencies such as the Federal Inland Revenue Service and Nigeria Customs Service stem from the naira's valuation and not from subsidy removal. He urged for better management of the exchange rate to alleviate economic pressures. Femi Oladen, senior partner at Argentine Capital Management Limited, discussed transparency issues within Nigeria's PMS subsector on the Business Edge show.
Dangote wants to sell petrol. It wants to sell petrol to people who have the capacity to pay and who have the capacity to buy. Of course, it's not efficient for him to just sell to everyone and anyone, because in that instance, he becomes more of a price taker rather than a price maker. He can enter into bilateral conversations with the oil majors. They have the capacity to open long-term LCs. They have the financing in place to be able to ensure that there is no timing delays between when products are delivered and when he supplies products to them. So those are key variables that as a business, he's going to be very concerned about. Now, the oil majors are able to provide for him the level of...
In business, the chairman of the ceremony committee for the recently concluded FASU Games, Senapo Bakre, has praised the event co-hosted by the University of Lagos and Lagos State University as a resounding success despite earlier logistical challenges during preparation. Bakare made this statement at the closing ceremony held at the Lagos State University Sports Complex in Ojo, Lagos. The 11th edition of the Africa University Games concluded with the American University in Cairo, Egypt, leading the medal table with 46 gold, 28 silver, and 8 bronze medals. Lagos State University finished second with 28 gold, 30 silver, and 26 bronze medals, while Unilag secured third place with 25 gold, 23 silver, and 40 bronze medals.
The athletes that were coming from the various countries, we had to be negotiating and be talking with them the amounts they had to pay, because they actually had to pay in dollars. And some of these African countries are going through challenging times as well. So most of them did not pay their participation fee early enough. I would say it's 100% successful. For the first time, 2 universities are hosting it. And despite all the challenges, we were able to put up something.
And that's all on the news. Let's take a look again at some of the major stories. President Tinubu swears in Kekere-Ekun as new Chief Justice of Nigeria. PDP has prepared documents to challenge Edo governorship election results in courts. We also told you that MSF has reported record 25,000 sexual violence cases in DR Congo. You can watch News Central live on DSTV, channel 422, Star Times, channel 274, Avo TV, and YouTube. Many thanks for watching. I am Adebola Adedugba.